in a just world, why do injustices happen? The easy cop-out answer is God works in mysterious ways. The simple answer is, I think Thomas Wayne said it best, why do we fall, Bruce? So we learn to get back up. And I think it's really important to understand that, again, knowing that this life is a test. If things happen, tragedies happen, we need to learn from them. And so I'm only going to share what I know, what I experience. Two passions of mine are relationships and business. And so I'm going to share two real life tragedies that I witnessed, where fear kept people paralyzed and kept them as slaves to that fear. The first example is of a man and a woman. They met as children, late teenagers, and they moved in together. Now, what happens when a young man and woman are moving in together at a young age? Well, let's just say they needed to get married. And so they needed to get married, they felt, because they had come from abusive, generations of trauma that they wanted to be able to have their kids not go through. And so they try to live the American dream and raise a family. Now, that being said, as far as values, they never really connected and saw eye to eye on those things. And so you can only live not aligned with your values for so long, where eventually you start to resent the other people around you, because it's a reflection on who you are. And eventually the man holds back his love and the woman holds back her bed. And these are two grown adults with now grown children. And so they have a few options available to them. Option one, they confront what's happened and have an open and honest conversation about who they are, what they're looking for, and at that point decide, do they want to stay the same person that resents their partner, or do they want to become the type of person who holds the values that that partner respects? And if not, then at least you guys can part ways. The best case scenario is, of course, that works out and they become stronger for it. The worst case scenario, they end up having to break apart a foundation that has built something amazing, but maybe has reached its course. Option two is they just completely give up and they don't want to have that conversation. By this time, the man has already started having other desires for other women, and the woman knows that he's had conversations with other women and maybe even suspects that he might have done more. And maybe they've taken enough offenses from the other partner, they resent each other too much, and they say, you know what, I don't care what their values are, I want to split up. Best case scenario is they live a life where they're not in resentment towards the partner that they live with. And maybe they find partners that do align with those values. The worst case scenario is they have to go back with each other. They end up trying to figure out the world, what's out there, and realize the grass wasn't greener on the other side. And maybe the answer is to try to work on themselves and try to be a better person for their partner. The third option is the option of fear, where we don't do anything. The man's afraid he's going to lose all his assets, what's going to happen to his business. And all he wanted to do was, date women. But all the women that he's sleeping with and wants to be with, they want to be having him be a father. And that's not what he's looking for. And so what if he can't find a person that aligns with his values, that's going to give him what he wants, and he loses all his money and assets? The woman, this is someone who built her life around this man, gave him a family in her best years, and can't imagine herself trying to find another partner or even understand what life could look like without that partner, for no matter the offenses that might have, happened to her. And so the best case scenario is they stay in the exact same position. We can't expect anything different when we do the same things. The worst case scenario, things, progress obviously worse. They start resenting each other even more. He starts wandering off more, hiding things more, and they're both so afraid to leave that they stay in that same cycle. Another tragedy that I witnessed, and this is the thing that inspired this video. There's a man, 37, and he's making pretty good money. He's $30,000 to $50,000 a month, but he hates what he sells. Like, he hates the process. He doesn't enjoy it. It's burning him out. But he loves money. He has no idea how to get out of a career. He's very talented in what he does. He does sales, but he doesn't really know how to get into another avenue. And with the time that he's spending in his business, he feels that with how late it is in his life, he doesn't want to make a wrong decision into finding another career. But he has had enough. And so I meet this man, and I know I can find him those connections. I work for an 8-figure business that's done over $100 million in sales. One of our portfolio companies actually works around the clock trying to find opportunities for people like him. And so his worry was whether it was actually going to be possible, whether we'd be able to find a position for him. And, is it too late? If he makes a mistake, he doesn't want to look like a fool and have spent money and not seen anything. And so he has 3 options. Option 1, he signs up and we look for a position, and I tell him, it's probably going to take within 30 to 60 days to find him a spot where he's going to be making that same amount of money, but now he'll be able to work from home and actually promote a product that he has solid conviction and that can change a lot of people's lives. That's the best case. The worst case scenario, we just can't find him the opportunity he's looking for. And in that case, we give him the money back. It's in writing. It's what we do. The third option was the option that he chose. And I want to say that this guy, I know that he wanted to take the jump. He put a down payment, and he was sure, like, man, this is a good opportunity, but he had a lot of fear as far as, are we going to hold up our side of the bargain? Are we actually going to be able to find an opportunity for him? And if we do, like, if we don't, can he get his money back? And so after having looked at the contract, he didn't appreciate the wording, and he thought it might be too vague. And so he decided, unless the terms of the contract were changed, he was just going to pay us without filling out a contract. I refunded him his money. I had broken up his investment over quite a long period of time, especially for how much money he makes monthly. And so I know it wasn't financial. And to be quite honest, could I have changed the wording in the agreement and talked to someone, see if we could have? Very possibly. But to be quite honest, I'm confident in the systems that we use and the effort that my business goes in towards helping people find these opportunities. And so if you think that you're going to stumble into a six-figure position without having to step into the unknown and get uncomfortable, you're going to stay trapped. And you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And so until this guy is able to get out of his mind and get out of that sense of fear that's holding him back, he's going to go back to that job that is burning him out because it pays him enough money. But how much is money when you're not able to spend time with your family, when it's draining you of your energy? And so I want to keep this short. I can share experiences as far as how I kind of overcame those possible tragedies when they could have happened to me. But you're going to fail a lot of times in whatever your journey is. I saw this somewhere, but in the game of life, you can strike out as many times as you'd like, but you only need one home run. Whether that's finding your soulmate, whether that's getting to $1 million, finding that healthy balance to get to the body that you want. And so as long as you don't stop and you don't let fear hold you back from opportunities, the world is your oyster.